Yeah.
I think it's gonna be just up. I hope, you know what I mean. But
Yeah, let's hope.
Welcome back, baby. Welcome back, fam. Welcome back. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. Let's go. LTA, baby. Whew. A big shout out to you guys for the support. The growth of LTA has been absolutely incredible. I'm getting messages every single day from you guys. Killing it. Picking the right setups. Using the volume profile. Understanding the macro around it. Having a clear bias. And actually succeeding in life. I'm very proud of you for putting in the work, putting in the effort. And also very proud of you for coming on time to the streams. We're going to have 3 streams this week again. Today, tomorrow, Thursday. Looking forward to it here. Gold is dropping. What did we talk about last week? Do you guys remember? Trend was up, but the volume was coming down. We're going to talk about all of this here. I'm very happy to have you guys on board. It was my birthday, actually, last weekend. I spent some time off the charts. I got a very nice present. A marble chessboard. Something that was on my list for a long time. I officially have it. I have my marble chessboard right now. Masterpiece. Special edition. Exclusive. Okay? LTA only. That's the way it is. All right, that's the freaking way it is. All right. Let's see what we have in the building with us. Good to see you. MSR Trades, my man, welcome back. Lucifer, good to see you. Kareem. Juan Carvello, good to see you, my friend. Carmina. Nugi Nuk, Salam Amalambli. Rishan, Brim Reaper. Yes, sir. AD Korto, good to see you again. Welcome back. Yes, sir. Sui. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. All right. Let's talk about the markets. What is happening here? What is happening? Is this the time when gold starts to come down? Is it going to happen now? What do you guys think? Please let me know in the chat. Are we going to continue to drop? Yes or no? What is your analysis? What is your daily bias? Please let me know in the chat here. Let me utilize that in my favor. Very interesting. Okay. Anyways, we're going to cover all of that here. I want to give a big shout out to the LTA Trading Floor and the guys in there that are always with us through thick and thin, right? When the market is not giving us exactly what we need here, they're still going to be there. They're still going to do their analysis. They're going to go through it. And if there is nothing, there is nothing. If there is something, they will absolutely trade. They will absolutely trade it here. Everyone is improving here. It's absolutely incredible. Okay, Gala Trend says dollar is rising. Yes, correct. Adam says yes, drop. Aliu says, hi, brother. How are you? I'm good. I'm from Turkey. Salam. Salam. Gold sell. Hold till 1900s. Damn, that's insane. Thomas, the man with the plan. Yes, sir. Okay. Well, we're going to talk about this. Let's go over it right now. And there are a couple things that I think that you should definitely take in consideration when trying to long gold right now. We said it last week already. Who was there on Thursday's stream? This was the last stream that we had. Let me know. Were you guys here on a Thursday? If so, please let me know in the chat, please. Because we talked about that. We took a long setup on a Thursday. We took a long trade. It was still a good trade. However, the only difference was that the volume was dropping, right? While the trend was rising. So we knew we were heading into some sort of what? Kind of an exhaustion play, right? An exhaustion play for gold in particular. Now, at the same time, the dollar right now is holding up. It's holding pretty strong. We're going to show that in a second here. But the volume was coming down. And guess what happened today after the stream? Friday, we had that major dump. That major sell-off right from the top, right into that into these lows right here. And we're pretty much back at the lows where we actually came from on a Friday. So we made that quick recovery rally on a Monday yesterday, and then today again we dropped. So what's happening here? What's going on? Well, clearly there is one thing that I think is super important to mention right now. I think the market is extremely over leveraged long, right? I think we can all agree on that right now. Look at gold in general, right? Look at what happened since the summer months. All right, and if you go simply look at gold here, since the actual summer, the breakout in August, we're talking around a 32% move, okay? A 32% move from gold right there. That is pretty nuts to me, all right? The fact that we can drop around 30%, so we can rise around 30% in around 90 days is pretty freaking crazy, all right? You have to understand that 30% on gold, okay? It's roughly speaking around a $10 trillion market cap raise in value. $10 trillion in 3 freaking months. Matter of fact, the last week, we gained around 10%, all right? That is also pretty freaking nuts, all right? That last squeeze that you've seen here in the previous trading week was a 10% move towards the upside here. So obviously, we're overstretched. We already knew this. We already would know that this is coming, blah, 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 right? This is pretty obvious right now. Now, clearly, what is going to happen from like a psychological standpoint? From a psychological standpoint, I think most traders are going to say right now, yeah, so I missed out on the gold train. So on every dip right now, I'm going to buy gold because, you know, I missed out this whole move. So, you know, I'm not going to miss out now. I'll wait for price to come back to an interesting zone and then I'm going to buy gold, right? Is this the standard thought process of most traders? What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat what you think about that, right? I think a lot of people missed out on the train. They realized that and they were like, oh shit, I have to pay attention to gold right now. It's all over the news. It's everywhere. I might have to buy some gold at this current moment whenever it starts dropping here. So I do think that a lot of people have that mindset of, I need to catch the bottom. I need to buy the freaking dip. I think that's what's happening right here. Okay. Now, if we then go to the technicals right here, right? Clearly the weekly has flipped. Okay. On gold spot, and this is interesting, on gold spot, you can see that we actually failed to take out the previous highs, right? The previous weekly highs here. However, on futures, if you go to the futures chart right now, we actually did take out the previous weekly highs. I just want to make sure that you understand that, okay? We took out the previous weekly highs and we then reversed to the downside, all right? So this is also something that I think you should take in consideration. Don't only look at the gold spot chart, also look at the futures chart to get that accuracy. Right? Because sometimes futures is pretty much just more accurate. It's centralized data, and everyone is looking at the same chart here. On futures, the previous weekly high has been taken out. Just wanted to let you guys know that. Okay. Then I want to go to the hourly time frame because what I want to show you right now, let's just go to spot again. Let's go to the Awanda chart of gold and let's pretty much look at it from that perspective. Right around here, okay? If you look at it from this angle, a lot of people would say this is a double top, right? Double top formation. It's actually correct. It's kind of what you can see here, what we call a double top formation. But this is not the chart that I want to show you right now, okay? The chart that I actually want to show you right now is actually silver. All right? I want to show you silver right now. And the reason why I want to show you silver is because look at what has been happening to silver already, okay? And look at the structure that you're seeing on silver right now at the moment. Here. Look at this head and shoulder formation, or look at that rejection right there, okay? But look at the 12-hour time frame. I think that is the most important, okay? And if you are new to this channel, it's very important that you download the Trading War Map because we always talk about what we call a macro to micro approach here. So if you go here and you go to the foundation and you go to page 13, there is something that we call higher time frame supply and demand and lower time frame volume analysis and execution. So higher time frame supply and demand, lower volume execution. And if you go to silver right now, you go to the 12-hour time frame, okay? Do you guys see what I see right here? And if you know what a supply zone is or how to draw a supply zone, I recommend you to check this out because look at what silver has just created. Two pretty strong, pretty clean, all right, 12-hour supply zones. Not one, but two since Friday, okay? I think this is extremely important. Why is this important to really take in consideration? Why is this so important for gold, in my opinion, from my perspective? Well, in order for silver to flip bullish here, we need to literally take out both of these supply zones again in order to continue and break and create new, let's say, all-time highs for silver, okay? Do you think it's going to be easy? Let me know in the chat. Do you guys think it's going to be easy to just come up and break these two very clean 12-hour supply zones that have been created while we're dropping at this current moment here? Do you guys think it's an easy task for silver to just, you know, flip, take out supply 1, take out supply 2, and then just continue to go up here? Okay? It is very hard. I can guarantee you that. It's going to be very hard. It's going to take time, right? It's going to take time. Usually what happens is that demand will get created first. It will take out supply. It pulls back again, pulls back, runs into the other supply zone. It's going to be a headache. It's going to be painful, right? For a lot of people here. So I do believe that this is important for gold to take consideration what silver is doing, because if you understand what silver does, you can also get a better understanding of what gold does. So if you type in this indicator right here, and this is has nothing to do with trading or anything like that, but it's just important for us to understand. It's called correlation. So you can type in correlation in your indicator list, okay? So this is what you do. You go to the indicator section, you type in correlation, and then you will see this indicator right here. It's called correlation coefficient, okay? And if you click on that, you then have to put in a symbol. You type in gold, okay? You type in gold right here. Now, we have created these 2 supply zones on silver. Now we're talking about gold. We put that in, can apply, okay? Then this thing pops up right there. And this shows you if gold and silver are either positively correlated, so if silver moves up, gold moves up, or negatively correlated, right? If it's negatively correlated, silver will move up and gold will move down, or the other way around here. Well, clearly over the last couple of weeks, you can see we are extremely positively correlated with silver, okay? If silver looks clean and it looks extremely bearish, you think this is going to benefit gold and it's going to be bullish for gold, or you think this could imply that it's more bearish for gold? That's just the thought process, right? So I want you to take this with you and really think about that from a macro standpoint and a higher time frame standpoint before you start thinking, I need to buy the dip, I need to buy the dip, I need to buy the dip. Gold is going to go to the moon. Gold is going to go to $5,000. China is buying, get into gold right now. I would be more cautious here. Okay, I will be more cautious. Now, from a trading standpoint, okay, let's go back to gold here. From a trading standpoint, does this then necessarily mean that we are going to go to gold and we're not going to look for long setups anymore at all? We're only going to look for short setups. Not per definition this week. I could easily say, I think we might bounce here on the lower time frame. We can find a level and we could take a long from. But what is important here for me is that I have to look for a confirmation where I will reduce my risk exposure. So if I'm going to go long, guys, I'm going to simply reduce my risk for that exact reason. Okay, we did this on a Thursday already. We could have easily dropped on a Thursday. So it's not going to mean that I'm not going to take any longs if I'm going to find a setup or whatever. I'm just going to reduce my risk because I think we're overextended, etc. here. All right, so I hope that makes sense here. Yeah, do you guys agree with that? And then I will go to the lower time frame. Type in a yes in the chat, and then we go from there here. How do we get the war map? Okay, you can download the war map by clicking on the link right here in the description. You can click it right here. Download the LTA Trading War Map for free, right there. Okay, click on this one right here. It's the first link in the description. Very easy. Just do it right there, and then you can get access to the book right away. All right, it's all in there. All the information is in there as well here. Okay, cool. So anyways, with that said here, let's go to the 30-minute time frame on gold and let's see what has happened. Well, clearly, you can now see that we actually opened below the Sunday open here. Or sorry, we didn't. Wait, did we open below the Sunday open? Yeah. So on a Monday, we actually broke out to the upside. Okay. Right around here. So you could see it like this, right? This is the Monday and this is the Tuesday. The Monday actually came up. It failed to take out the highs on futures. It did. So it did sweep the highs on futures. So price then rolled over and it broke below the Sunday open right here. Okay. What does it necessarily mean? What is that showing us? That shows us that we are now flipping the weekly candle bearish. All right. We're now experiencing a bearish weekly candle flip. Okay. If you are new and you don't have this indicator, you can also get this indicator for free. You click on our Discord, and in our Discord section, you can actually find this indicator, free indicators. And then you actually add this one right around here. Okay. The limitless session breaks is Sunday open. It shows you the opening price of the week. And then also each trading day. So you can kind of see what has happened. It's very helpful when you trade LTA concepts. Okay. Anyways, this is the Sunday open. We're now below the Sunday open and we are now also flipping bearish. And I think this is extremely important to take consideration. We are dealing with a weekly candle or weekly bearish candle flip. Okay. So that is something that I obviously take very, very serious right now. Now, another layer was what I was initially looking for was maybe price can hold above this range right around here. Right, and we can maybe look for a bounce and then potentially go back to the highs again. Well, clearly that didn't work because price just broke below and is now actually trading below the range itself here. So what do I want to see? I want to actually start utilizing this range right here. So we're going to mark out this range here. You guys know already what we're going to do. You guys already know it, right? You guys already know it. Okay. You guys already know it here. There we go. Dealing with these critical key levels here. What are you guys seeing? Let me know, please. Let me know in the chat. What will be the perfect LTA setup to you here right now at the moment? Okay, that is something I want you to let me know, because I'm seeing it right now. Let me know if you see what I see. Okay, and then we go over it here, because this might be indeed the breakout or the confirmation that we're looking for. Okay, and if that's the case, with a weekly candle flip bearish, it might be definitely interesting to see what we can do. Okay, I think it's definitely interesting to look at regardless here. Okay, Skinny D says, see me target the previous weekly very low. That's correct. That's correct. My guy, Skinny D. Gonna put the sound for you up one more time, my friend, because you absolutely crushed it. That's it indeed. All right, it's the see me play right here. So if price indeed breaks down or breaks below that range, same thing on futures, by the way, then I'm definitely going to see if we can look for further continuation towards the downside. Gold looks to me weak at this current moment. And in order for gold to flip bullish, it really has to break back above the Sunday open here and turn that into support. That's the only way for me to say I might be looking for long setups on gold here. I'm not going to try to look for long setups somewhere down the line here when the weekly candle now is freaking bearish, okay? I want to see the weekly candle flip bullish for me to say, okay, I'm confidently looking for longs again. That means we will break back above this range. And then I would say, okay, I might target new highs here. But I just explained what silver does. Silver doesn't look too strong either. So, you know, I doubt that we're going to see a push towards the upside here. But we're still going to take it in consideration as kind of an alternative right here. But what I would prefer here, sorry guys, what I would prefer here is simply wait for the price to break below that range, break out, pull back, and then sell off, right? It's that confirmation of the CME play. So indeed, the consolidation here, the manipulation, and then the expansion, price needs to break structure. That is number one rule. It needs to break structure. And if it breaks structure and pulls back, I think we have a really clean short setup from there. Okay, that is kind of the thought process from there. All that makes sense. That's something that I'm gonna be looking at for gold here. Right here, you can see it as well. On futures, it's the exact same chart as on spot. So it's pretty much identical right now. Okay, price can break below and we pull back. I'm going to be looking for a continuation setup towards the downside right here and just simply follow up with this trend. Utilize this range as my area of interest and use that as resistance for my move further towards the downside here. All right, if price wants to flip bullish again, it needs to break back above the Sunday open and it needs to flip bullish right around there. And then we could say, okay, maybe this was indeed just a hold, push down, reversal, and then a potential push towards the upside here. So there are two scenarios. For longs, I'm going to be very cautious with my risk exposure right now at the moment. I hope that makes sense here. All right. Is that clear for you guys? You guys know what we're waiting for here. Number one, I appreciate you guys coming on time, you know, so we can really take our time to do like the full breakdown, the full analysis. And then from there onwards, we can just move forward here, right? Instead of you guys coming later and then boom, you missed out on, you know, and I have to freaking explain it 100,000 times, which I probably will still have to do anyways. But anyways, much more fun with you guys doing it this way. Okay. Absolutely. Yeah. Correlation coefficient. Very interesting here. Very interesting. So yeah, I'm waiting for that breakout and let's see what we can do from there. Any questions? Lorenzo, if you utilize the volume profile from Monday to last week to Friday, you see that 4197 is a really big area of support. We can look at it. 4197. Yeah, that's exactly where we bounced from, right? That's why I want to see that break of structure, like we talked about beforehand. If you take the previous trading week, that is indeed the level that we need to break below. That's exactly why we want to break below that structure. Okay. The previous weekly POC. We talked about this as well in our Instagram here. If you don't follow me on my Instagram, a lot of people, they look at my Instagram, right? And they look at my videos and they you know, they watch like a 30-second clip, right? And then they say, yeah, but it doesn't work like that because of this and that. I mean, bro, it's a 30-second clip, right? I can't explain you the full strategy in like, you know, 30 seconds, right? This is why we have the live stream, all right? This is why you guys are here on the stream, to ask questions, for me to help you out and to hopefully turn you into a better trader. But it's still fun to watch these stories or these reels anyways, for these quick insights on how to draw the volume profile correctly in different ways and how you can utilize that. So, you know, give your boy a follow on IG if you're interested in this shit. Yes, sir. What's the settings on the fixed value, fixed range? Because when I draw mine, it's not the same as yours. The settings are 128 and 128 row size and 70 value area, okay? 70% of the total volume, the most volume traded within that range or swing or previous day will be marked and will be highlighted, all right? That is the volume profile. That marks out the very high, the very low. And the red line is the point of control, okay? Layla says soon 100K on IG. Yes, we're getting there, my friend. We're getting there. We're getting there. Lorenzo, happy birthday. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. It was a nice birthday indeed. Like I said before, I got my, and I'm very proud of this, I got my marble chessboard, right? Special edition, handcrafted marble chessboard. Extremely nice. I was looking for this for a long time, couldn't find it. It's very, very hard to get, by the way, here in Bali. I was like, you know what? That's what I want, and I got it. You know what I mean? I visualized it. A marble chessboard. You guys probably don't know it, but I played a lot of chess when I was younger. I'm still playing a lot of chess. I also played a lot of poker. So the fact that I'm now a trader, or have been a trader, it probably was meant to be already, you know, because chess and poker together is what I call trading, right? Strategy from poker, very specific strategy, mechanical skill set around poker. And sorry, chess, my bad, chess. And then from a poker standpoint, it was really like understanding the psychology of the market, but also the probability game. You put these things together, and I was like, fuck, you can actually make money with this stuff. Like you can buy and sell and just, you can make money like that. Is that like a real thing? Oh, okay. Well, I probably have to do this then. Yes. Now I need to book a flight so I can beat you at chess. Well, that's funny that you say that, by the way, because I actually met up with a guy in our group. I met up with a guy in my group a while ago, and this guy actually is Ruben right here, Mr. Ruben right there. And this guy failed his, or almost failed his challenge. Keep in mind, this guy never traded before LTA Concepts, okay? He never traded before LTA. So his first strategy was LTA Concepts. It's like a baby, right? It's like a baby that absorbs all the information like a sponge. You know, no ICT trauma, you know what I mean? Like a sponge, right? He almost failed this challenge and then boom, LTA became funded. Now multiple payouts. And actually, I met with him. It was very nice. It was very good to see someone from the community in person, you know? And, you know, he's now surfing in Bali. Like, that's his passion. Surfing is his passion. He can now trade, get some of his payouts here, and start surfing in Bali. So, you know, this is what's possible, you know? It doesn't have to come from far, and it can go really fast. The only thing that you need, in my opinion, is you need to be locked in, man. You need to be locked in. Like, you can't be playing around and going from here to there and doing a little bit of this, following a little bit of that strategy, finding a signal there, and then doing that. You need focus. You need to lock yourself in and truly say, I'm committed, I'm going to focus, and I'm going to do this for an X amount of months, and I'm going to set goals. I'm going to set clear goals that I want to achieve in order to get there, right? So you need a reason. You need a why, you need goals, and you need focus. You need to lock the fuck in, right? That is the reality. And within no time, you can become funded. Within no time, you can take profit. And within no time, you can do whatever you please to do. And even the small payouts matter, okay? Even the small payouts matter. It's not just about the money. It builds a shit ton of confidence. It shows you that you can do much more. And, you know, there is always a bigger mountain to climb anyways. Test. Oh, is it a gun, bro? I'm getting freaking attacked, bro. I'm getting freaking attacked right now. I swear I'm getting attacked here. What? Test. Okay. In 3 years' time, this never happened. Very occasionally, like once every 6 months. Maybe. Now it's every fucking week. We're getting attacked, man. There's something happening here. Internet works fine every time. Okay. Fuck it. We're back. Anyways, for now. My apologies. Luckily, nothing has really changed. Okay. Lorenzo, get a way that you can see what's happening on the network. I would love. Yeah, that's actually a good point. Can you message me, bro? You seem like a good guy. Message me with that information. Okay. With that information. Yeah. It's the ICT fan base that's attacking me right now. Yeah. Fuck that LTA guy. Just fuck that LTA guy. I'm not gonna listen to him. You know? Okay. Where's your stop loss? Well, luckily we're not in a trade yet, so we'll be good. We'll be good here. If you guys can help me out here, that would be really nice by smashing up that like button right now. It helps gain back that crucial momentum in the algo. Okay, so if you fuck up with the internet, that's your problem. So in this case, it's my problem. But we have an amazing community. So if you guys can help me out with smashing that like button, it will be. I would highly appreciate that. That would really work. And yeah, let's move forward from there. Okay, let's move forward from there. Vanessa, great gold trade on the floor. Okay, let's have a look at Vanessa's trade setup. Indeed, let's go over it. Thank you for sharing, Truth Seeker. That's amazing. Boom. Very nice, Vanessa. Very good. 5-minute breakdown, pullback. Really nice, really nice. Right before the London or New York Open here. Incredible stuff. Shout out to Vanessa, guys. Once you guys are, you know, with us for a while here on the streams and stuff, you guys are gonna hear more traders from our trading floor group as well here. Vanessa is actually one of those. Okay, she has been absolutely crushing it over the last couple of months. She's working on getting better every day. And what I noticed from her, she started to be a bit more, you know, aggressive with her entries, which I like from her, which is actually a good thing. That I can see the improvement. Yeah, man. Big W for Vanessa. Yeah. Yes, we have women in our LTA VIP who are actually crushing it. That's a very, very proud moment here. For some reason, the women that are in our group are pretty successful. And I think it's because, and this is my theory, okay? I personally believe that it's because they're more cautious at first. They're more careful at first. So they take they take their time for a setup, right? They want to be sure about a setup before they kind of take it. So, you know, with them, I always have to make sure that they're a bit more aggressive when taking trades, right? With a lot of the guys in our group are, you know, or people in general, guys in general, we're just like to get in, right? We're just like action, right? We like to just press the button and just let's freaking go, right? That's kind of our mentality as guys. So you can definitely see the difference between women and between men in trading. It's very interesting, actually. With women, you have to push them to be more aggressive, and with men, you have to pull them back and create more patience around their strategy. Very interesting. Yeah, she's absolutely crushing it. Amazing. Anyways, I was talking about a fantastic story around our guy that actually got funded, is now trading in Bali. He's a server dude. The only thing that he needs is a couple payouts, small payouts a month, right? And he can just do his thing and he can just freaking surf all day long, right? That's the life. If you want to live that life, that's an incredible life, right? You're in the sun all day long. You surf in the morning, afternoon, hang out with your friends. In the evening, New York session, baby. New York session. If you're in Bali, of course. So yeah. Let me know in the chat. How is it going for you guys right now? Like, are you funded? Are you trading your personal capital? Have you been profitable consistently? Have you been in your break-even phase? What is the status right now? Let me gauge the sentiment here. Let's see. Eric says, most expect this setup, so most likely the opposite will happen and gold will make new highs. That's what a lot of people think otherwise, right? You have to understand that a lot of people, Eric, I think from my perspective, I don't think a lot of people think about shorting now. I think a lot of people think about buying the dip. That's my personal opinion. I think a lot of people think about buying the dip right now at the moment here. Yeah, so from a psychological standpoint, that's one layer. Well, we talked about our reasoning, right? About silver, particularly being such an important factor, right? On the higher time frame, the fact that we created these major 12-hour supply zones, two of them, right here and right here. And it will be very hard for that to just break higher and just take out these supply zones with ease. It will take time. And if there is a really strong positive correlation between gold and between silver, then if silver comes down and struggles, I think gold will also have a harder time. And we have seen, of course, nine weeks of straight bullishness, right? 9 weeks. This is the 10th week. This is the first potential red candle. We have no idea how this weekly candle will close. But what I can say is that a lot of people are right now trying to buy the dip here. So yeah, I would not mind shorting or trying to short gold from this moment onwards. And if I get invalidated, and this is always the thought process for me personally, when I look at gold setups in the first place, what would be an invalidation for me, where I would say I would be comfortable buying again? That will be above the Sunday open right here, right? You take out the previous weekly lows and you pull back above the Sunday open and you just create a higher low. And then, you know, on the lower time frame, I think we can get a quick scalp towards the upside right there, right? That will be an invalidation for shorts for me. So I will always have a plan B anyways. We'll always have a plan B. All right, Roberto says, I make 50K with Top Step in 16 days after I was live, but my emotion ruined it. And I'm back on track. I withdraw 30K. What was 2023 and I took a pause and now I'm back. I use volume and order flow. That's why I love watch you. Amazing. Amazing. Well, welcome back, my friend. I hope you can absolutely crush it with us right now on the streams. You took a long break. Sometimes, you know, it's necessary to take a break. But there's someone telling you in your left ear, you know, Roberto. Roberto. I'm waiting for you. Welcome back. Hero Spot Moment says, Lorenzo, my first time try. Funded now. I'm $302 in profit. And it's a 5K funded account. What should I do? If you can get a first payout, my friend, I think by default, having like a first payout is always a good thing. It's always something that you can rely on, right? It's just something that builds your confidence. Having that feeling like, okay, yes, I got my first payout, my first official payout. Do you guys remember your first payout? For the people who got payouts, do you guys remember how that changed something in you from that moment onwards? It showed you that it was possible, right? It showed you that it was possible. And I think that belief is something that you need in order to do. When you fight someone, okay, let's say in the boxing ring, I'm boxing all the time, right? So when I fight someone, sparring, right? At the beginning, the first time I was sparring, you know, I was really unsure about everything. I was not comfortable, you know, sparring, even though I held my ground, pretended I was like a tough guy, etc. here, but I was not comfortable, right? But at some point, my skill set exceeded that I started to feel comfortable, and I started to build that confidence and belief in myself that I could actually beat that guy. And sometimes these little steps, these small payouts, lead to a much larger runway for success for you, okay? So don't chase the big money yet. Don't chase the big goals yet. Like, start small and build it up from there. I think that's the only way for you to succeed, right? You're like a baby, right? You learn how to crawl before you walk. It's very straightforward. Step by step, right? Get that small payout first. Show yourself that you can do it. Building that belief system is everything, because the moment you have done that, a whole new horizon goes open. I'm like, hey, bro, I got my $300 payout. You know, I got my $300 payout and I gave it to my mom. Boom, for example, right? Imagine getting your first payout and you give it to your mother. It's not much, mom, but you know, I made this from the markets. Boom. Hey guys, is slightly losing, only 6 months in. Current online poker player here. Shout out to the great game. It is a beautiful game. It is a beautiful game. Yeah, poker and chess and trading in many ways go hand in hand. And a lot of poker players realize I could better start trading. Because, you know, I can just better start trading. A lot of chess players think, man, I can better start trading. Because, like, you know, I can actually make some serious money in this game. You know that most really successful chess players actually got rich from trading and investing over chess itself. Funny how that works, right? Most of them actually made much more money in the trading space than as a chess player. Very interesting. Do you suggest funded accounts for beginners if he has sustained his capital for a week? I mean, if you sustain your capital for a week, I think you should sustain your capital at all times. You know what I mean? So a week is not a large, how do I say that? A week is not a large timetable in order to get there. Yeah, you need a little bit more more exposure and more proof that you can actually hold your account steady. Yeah. Memory session. Just subscribe. Welcome, my friend. Download the ebook. Quickie says TP hit for Ryu in the trading floor. Nice. Guys are crushing. Guys are crushing it. Very clean. Roberto says people need to follow you and learn real market. It's not a line on high low. ICT stuff, hell no. Yeah, I mean, you know, clearly there is one step further, right? And that's like the real order flow, like understanding all the market dynamics behind the charts, the candlesticks, right? The footprint chart where you can see the real orders of each candle, for example, or the Bookmap that we show you guys on stream sometimes before as well, which shows you like the limit orders placed in the market, right? The heat map, the potential iceberg orders that you can spot there, all these layers. But regardless, from a candlestick perspective, I think this is the perfect setup for you to really understand how volume works and how you can utilize this to set a really good foundation as a trader and to just simply max out your candlestick analysis. That's the top process right there. All right. And that's why we're here for. Also showing you that it's possible to execute on candlesticks without using real order flow, just because of the understanding of patterns that happen all the time throughout order flow here. If you ask an order flow, right, a real solid question, and you ask him, yo, I know you are an order flow trader, but you know, if I can just ask you one thing, what is like the candlestick pattern that you see happening a lot when your favorite order flow setups play out, right? When buyers are getting trapped there and when sellers are gaining that aggression there, like what is kind of the pattern that forms itself over and over again that you see is happening a lot? And they will give you a clear answer. They will say it is something like an expansion, right? Where we feel we manipulate to the highs, we reverse down, we pull back, sellers take over, are clearly in control, and we go from there, right? They will give you an answer built around the candlestick charts as well. So don't forget that, right? Order flow is super important, but there are certain patterns that repeat themselves over and over and over again, regardless of the order flow in the market right here, okay? That's just the natural law of the market, regardless when buyers or sellers are getting trapped, right? So this is kind of what we built and why we built LTA Concepts around that concept, around that thought process, right? You dive into the order flow and you pull it backwards towards candlestick charts and see from there. All right, gold's still pushing down. It's still dropping. We are now pulling back into the previous weekly POC. This just simply means that we're bearish, guys. Like right now, I don't see any reason for reversal. If we pull back towards the 4226 and we see somewhat of a rejection there, I'm pretty comfortable with looking for sells right there, you know? Can you explain your last trade from the stream? I mean, the last trade, I can't recall it exactly. I need to actually look at it. This was Thursday, right? Oh yeah, right here. I think it was this trade right here. Let me go back to last week, Thursday. We had, was it Thursday? This is Thursday. Yeah, okay, I remember now. So we had this range right here, we had this manipulation. And the moment we broke back above this range, we utilized the volume profile on this range right here. We marked out the fixed value area high. And on futures, it was super clean. And the point of control, I remember this. And we took a long setup right around there. Stop loss below. And yeah, I think we just targeted a 2-to-1 restored ratio right here, something like that. That was kind of the setup from Thursday, and it was indeed a break above the fixed value high. So a CME play, a breakout, and then a retest, and then entry model 1. Sorry, the entry model was probably a little bit higher because we took it on the 5-minute, I guess, right? Yeah, we took it here, right there. That was our entry right there. Entry, stop loss, and then a 2-to-1 restored ratio. That was the trade. So in a bullish trend, every time when you break back above a previous range, you can use this range and you can turn that into support by understanding the volume profile and the area where the most volume was traded. And then we go from there. So in this case, we came down and on the 5-minute, we saw a clean entry model and we took that setup right there. So that was the setup. Now we're waiting for price to pull back towards any of these levels right here. Particularly this one at 4226. If you don't pull back to the 4226, what's your game plan then? Then I'll wait for the previous weekly POC. But I want to see a little bit of a deeper closure. Number one, we haven't even broken the lows yet. So we're still holding above the lows right here. We're still holding above these lows right there, right? So want to at least break that. So to me, it will be something like this. If price pulls back, I can pretty confidently put my entry there and then go for a lower target. We have this thing to deal with. If it is an entry model, I can place my stop a bit tighter as well. We'll see. Yeah. So from a macro standpoint, okay, there's also another thing that I can talk about as well here. And if you go to futures and go to the weekly time frame, there is an indicator that we utilize. It's called the FutureScope. We have created this one. It's built around seasonality, right? It's built around the seasons of the market here. And what do we see here? That's some serious shit right there, right? Right around this week would be what we call the cycle top on the higher time frame. So from a seasonal standpoint, right, this shows you what usually the time is when price tends to come down, all right? What usually the time is when price tends to go up or expand, according to, in this case, the last 10 years of data. So it takes gold from the last 10 years and it shows you then pretty much when is it usually going up and when it is usually going down, according to the last 10 years. And it's not always exactly the same, right? But the market definitely rhymes. There's definitely a rhythm to the market. There's definitely a cycle that's repeating itself over and over again. And the more data you have, the more accurate that cycle will be because you can utilize that information, right? So for example, if you take that information and you go to our VIP and we look in the commodity section here and we click on gold, for example, and you go to the seasonality. This is a back testing that we have done here. Okay. then you can see that between Q1 is usually the most bullish quarter of the year, okay? If you go here, Q1 is the most bullish quarter, usually for gold, okay? This is pretty wild that after the summer we started rallying so much. It happens more often, okay? But also look at this. This was in 2022, 2023, 2024, and of course in 2025, we did the exact same thing. Do you see how in Q1 we started just to rally, 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 rally? We have done this 4 years in a row right now, guys. Right? So pay attention to seasonality. It's a real thing around gold. People don't take it serious enough because they're obsessed with the lower time frame. But it's going to help you so much with identifying potential tops in the market and bottoms in the market and giving you a very clear bias as well here. Matter of fact, if you then go to the spring and summer months, right? This was in 2021. We were ranging. In 2022, we came down. In 2023, we came down. In 2024, we started ranging. What did we do in 2025 during the summer, guys? Let me know in the chat. What did we do in 2025 in the summer? I think we started ranging, right? We started ranging. So again, this is why we utilize that information to kind of help us with a macro bias here. And if you look here at the FutureScope right now, this week, it projected. And this has nothing to do with the charts, right? It literally projected according to historical data. This would be the week where price would potentially reverse in the short term or a larger push up by the end of the year, by Q1. So it seems to be the perfect timing right now, the fact that we're flipping bearish here, okay? Like I said, it's not perfect, but it's really good at predicting these tops here. Even here, this was a potential top. Price stopped moving upwards for a long period of time here. This was a top, price came down. This was a top, price started ranging, right? Then these bottoms hit right here. Look at that, the bottom hit here. Like the bottom hit and the bottom hit, and we started to break to the upside, right? So this is why we utilize seasonality, especially on commodities, to gain a better edge from a macro perspective, right? All these details are important for us and for LTA to create a very clean, data-driven, mechanical process that can help you become a better trader, right? And this is why we have these steps. Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. I will always execute on the lower time frame. Don't get me wrong. I'm a day trader, but I can still use all these extra implements just to gain that edge over another trader. In the end, it's a battle, right? It's a battle between buyers and sellers. Over time, I want to at least have an edge. I want to have as much information as possible in my favor that I can utilize in order to gain that advantage. Gold is freaking struggling, guys, right now. I can see it right here. Gold is struggling. It's not even bouncing from the POC here. Hey Lorenzo, I've been following you for a while. I'd like to know how I have the volume profile settings. John Code, have you downloaded the ebook? Because it's right in the book as well here, if you want to have the complete understanding of it. I think it's somewhere all the way at the beginning, right? Volume analysis. Volume is king. The volume profile, and then right here, the explanation of how to set it up is, I think, was it there? Yeah, it is right around here. It's higher, actually. Boom. Cool. I hope that helps. I hope that helps. Page number 22, my friend. Page number 22. What needs to happen for gold to flip bullish? Well, if gold wants to flip bullish, it needs to for sure reclaim. That's the first thing that needs to happen, right? It needs to reclaim the Sunday open, the opening price of the week. And then pretty much go up from there, right? So on futures or on spot, that's going to be the 4-2. It needs to break back above the 4-2-6-6, which has a very hard time to do so, right? It has a very hard time in breaking back above. If we do break back above that, then that's a really nice buying spot regardless, right? If you do see, because I just believe if you break back above the 4266.5, that you can just try to come back and retest the highs again. At least pull back towards the 4333, the 4333. Okay, that will be a bullish scenario. But because we're below that range, and we're dealing with a lot of resistance, and we got rejected super aggressively from the opening price of the week, you can see that right there. Some traders in our group took this trade. Yeah, that shows weakness, right? This shows that this was the top wick of the weekly candle, and the price flipped and broke below the opening price with a weekly bearish candle flip. So that will be a reclaim for me. Break back above, flip bullish on the weekly time frame, and then maybe pull back. But I would still reduce my risk if I would go for long setups right now. Yeah. That will be the only bullish scenario for me personally. Let's see. What else did you do for your birthday? I went to the beach club. Chilling in the beach club, my friend. Yes, drinking pina coladas on the beach. Was nice, was very good. I really did enjoy it. You know, especially because I work a lot, always focus on work, always looking at the charts every time. It was a good moment to say, you know what, I'm gonna just relax, let it go for a second. Anna says, hoping to take a trade live today. I always hope to take a trade live every day. It's not on me though. Your birthday today or yesterday? My birthday was Saturday, man. Yes. Saturday. Let me quickly look at the dollar, by the way. The dollar as well. Dollar is still pushing. Still holding up really well. Dollar strength is still there, that's for sure. Hey Lorenzo, in looking for shorts, is reacting after very low a better confirmation, or it depends on the structure? I really do like the very low. You guys already know by default, right? That I love to work with ranges. And that I simply mark out a range like this here. And that if I just draw the profile over it, that you can easily turn a range into resistance. We've seen it so many times before, where people come. They initially look for a long setup here. That long setup, for example, fills right here. So look at how we responded from the point of control, right? But price didn't follow through, right? Because the larger context was missing for their setup. So if they would take a long, they would have been stopped out because the larger context was missing. So then you have the very, very low here. And what you want to see is you want to see a rejection around the very, very low. And then pretty much a continuation play. So that is kind of the setup that I'm waiting for right now, right? The very, very low rejection, continuation play. We already seen it kind of on the 15-minute, but not on the 30. If we can manage to pull back and reject again at the 4232, then I'm pretty comfortable with looking for a short continuation play, because I can put my stop loss, you know, nice above that range. And I can simply target the next demand zone, which is sitting at 4146. So that's something around there. So that will be perfect. That will be perfect. That will be, for me, something like this. 4146, right? That's that 12-hour demand zone. And then I can put my stop loss above the highs. And I have a perfect 2-to-1 setup. 2-to-1 restored ratio. So to me, that's perfect. Around the previous GBPUSD, I can then potentially say, I put my stops on break even or whatever the case may be, right? Manage my trade there, but that would kind of be my my setup here. I will feel pretty comfortable with that setup because my stop loss will be above the range high. And my take profit will be perfectly in that next 12-hour demand zone, which is actually sitting right there. Let me actually mark it out for you, which is sitting right there. This will be that 12-hour demand zone. It's pretty much perfect for me right there. It'll be a perfect setup for me. Trading towards 12-hour demand. All right, G's. Let's see if we can get some volume now with the New York Stock Exchange open. Pull back, reject, create a lower high for new lower low. Happy birthday, Lay. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Hey, Lorenzo is looking for shorts. Oh, he already said that. Sunday open is also today's very low. Sunday open is actually, I think, higher. On spot, it's a bit higher. On futures, it's indeed around the point of control. Yeah. Lorenzo, what is your goal with LTA Concepts? What is your goal? Well, my goal is we simply just represent the next generation of traders right now. Because a lot of guys that came into the trading space, they were trading ICT or, you know, SMC or whatever the case may be, right? Whereas I want to bring them just one step closer towards, you know, understanding like the real market dynamics. And I think that volume is a very great tool to understand in order to get there and to get a better understanding of how the market actually works, right? And along the way, we will talk a lot about much more macro context as well, right? Things like the CT data, how real market participants are positioned in the market, right? So we're really trying to represent the next generation of traders, actually taking a lot of wisdom from the old guys, the forgotten craft, I call it. Because there is a lot of gold out there that no one likes to watch or see because it's not trendy enough, not cool. Right? It's not cool to trade this way or whatever the case may be. So we're giving it a new spark. We're bringing it a new edge. And the second thing is that we love competition, man. I just love competition. I love to win. You know, I love to win at something. I better make some money with it too. Brother, I want to learn LTA concepts. How can I do that? You can do that, my friend, by downloading the ebook for free. That's your first exposure to who we are and what we do and how we execute here. So you can simply download that book here. And if you want to take it one step further than that and you want to actually start taking trades, setups, execute with us in our group as well, we have a Telegram group for you that helps you with explaining you how to actually execute a position, when to mark out, how to mark them out, when to look for the setups, and of course also proven results, right? You don't create a group without proven data, proven results from that same trading system. So I will drop a link for you in the chat. You can actually just click on that link and just go from there. Yeah, your first step is the book, the live streams at 8 a.m. just to see me execute trades live and explain you the process. And then the third step will be the group. Yeah, what a lot of people forget is that, you know, if you win a setup, right, you have to understand that someone else, you know, loses a trade. Like, that's just how the market works, right? It's not all, we're all in it together. We are in it together, but in general, and it's like everyone is actually competing. And it's so hard to forget that if we win a setup and we're cheering, that someone else on the other side is actually losing money, right? That's the reality that you're in. Okay, so what makes you think, right? And this is an important question. What makes you think by default that if you don't put in the work, you're not principled, you just do some random stuff, right? You take a position the moment you are on the charts on your phone, 2 minutes in, right? What makes you believe that you are better than that person on the other side, your enemy? What makes you believe that you're better than your enemy when you're not taking it serious enough? It's easy to let yourself down, funny enough. A lot of people let themselves down. But actually, what if I told you you're losing money to some dickhead on the other side of the market? We don't accept that. We don't accept that with LTA Concepts, okay? So we're here to wake you up and to see what we can do. Because that's unacceptable, right? It's not exactly like that. Of course, you get what I mean. You got what I mean. Oh, New York is awake. New York is awake. New York is awake. Look at New York being awake here. Wow. Welcome back, New York session. New York Stock Exchange, finally. Ooh, look at this. Damn, okay. Last minute intervention, guys, maybe. Maybe no short trade here. Plan was pretty clean, but look at that. Look at what the dollar is doing. Dollar, of course, is in daily supply. We already knew this, okay? But look at how the dollar is getting rejected here kind of aggressively right now. This might actually give us a potential reversal. Yeah, I'm unfortunate saying this, to be honest with you. But if the dollar comes down aggressively right now from daily supply and it breaks that low, it breaks structure here, we might indeed see a lower dollar, which will force gold back up a little bit in the short term at least. So I might gonna wait for actual confirmation here on the setup. You know, we're not as aggressive as we were Thursday. Thursday we entered our trade in like pretty much right away. But if the dollar is really weak, I'm gonna pay a little bit more attention to how the dollar moves just to gain that confidence or confirmation here. Yeah. The only way for longs is if we break back above the Sunday open, right? That's what we talked about. We break back above that range, that small range that you see here, and you turn that into support. You look for the continuation. So a break above this would be obvious for longs right there, clearly. Towards that 8-hour supply that we talked about before, that was created right here, which is this one right there. So if we decide to hold here, then that might be the wiser move here, okay? Just because of the dollar weakness. And this is why it's so important to look at the dollar sometimes as well here, because it saves me from a lot of losses. Not looking at the dollar sometimes is, sometimes in the past I ignored the dollar and the dollar was dropping aggressively. And then I was looking for a gold short setup and then gold kept pushing up because of the dollar weakness. So at first the dollar was holding up very well and then started to keep pushing into that supply. Now we're reversing, so. Let's see what happens when we tap into the fixed very low. And then we'll go from there. We'll go from there and then we'll see if we can take a short setup. Depends what the dollar does right now on the lower time frame. Trader POV says loving the volume. Yes, New York session is back indeed. Yeah. Would you prefer gold to come up or down? I clearly would prefer for gold to drop because, you know, we're already breaking down here. We otherwise have to wait for that reversal play. Because if you long here, let's say, right, and you try to long into this range, you're going to find a lot of resistance here. You're going to face a lot of resistance in this exact zone. So I prefer to trade outside of this for continuation to the upside. So I prefer shorting it because clearly then we can just look for that follow through, right? How to learn your concepts for free? Watch the live streams on YouTube and download the ebook. That is free. Most important level is for me 4232. Is there a case where you would flip too long? Yes, above the point of control, above this range. We talked about it already. If we manage to break back above this area, I think we have pretty clean runway towards the upside right there, which is gonna be right there. You reclaim that range right here and you look for the continuation to the upside right there. For now, gold is going to have a hard time unless the dollar absolutely tanks. That's the only way, in my opinion, gold will break out here. So clearly bearish biased until further notice, you could say. Yeah. Lorenzo, where's the Sunday open? Sunday open is right there on spot, and on futures it is slightly lower, but it's up here. It's up here, so we're below, right? If the weekly candle is bearish, you're clearly trading below the Sunday open, right? So if you want to flip bullish, I would prefer to trade above the Sunday open as well, or you know, simply potentially push down lower. That's it. Hi Lorenzo, I won the 25k funded challenge account last week. Not received it yet. Give it some time. You will receive it. I think you're in contact with Gavin in the customer support, correct? So it should be good. Congratulations once again. All right, give me 1 second, please. I'm waiting for the rejection right there to enter. Yeah, the fact that gold pushes up here, right? during the New York Stock Exchange Open and rejects again shows that there is just like what is going to try to drive gold up right now at the moment, right? That is the question to ask. So clearly it's freaking weak. It's clearly freaking weak, and this is why longing is just a no-go unless you break back above the Sunday Open, which is very hard to do, which seems like almost pretty much impossible. Yeah. So what do you learn on the live streams when you get here at 8 a.m., right? Because we start our streams at 8 a.m. EST. You learn what you can expect from me is for sure to give you a clear bias for the day. I think this is by default the most important, because this is where I have invested most of my time and effort in trying to optimize this, okay? And that is how to create a really good daily bias, right? This is something I've been working on for a long period of time. So on the live streams, this is something that we discuss really deeply throughout each session here. So this is why, if you guys come here at 8 a.m. EST, we can really go through this together. So we make sure that at least our bias from that moment is very, very solid, right? If we are unsure, because there are also moments where we're going to be unsure about our bias, that's going to be the moment where we just say, okay, if we are bullish there, I'm going to risk more or I'm going to risk less. It's all about risk management in the end. And we're going to take action from there. But this is something that you can expect from me, is to give you a very clear bias about the market, because this is where I have been putting in so much effort and work to have that nailed for each trading day, okay? That the direction is clear. And this is, I think, what a lot of traders lack, right? Is a clarity of direction. Let me know if you guys are struggling with this or if it's super easy for you. Let me know in the chat, please. I would love to get to know your thought process as well. Like, how do you see that? Like, is there something in the... What are you struggling with right now in the market? Is it your risk management? Is it your greed? Your FOMO and then losing trades? Is it constantly trying to enter trades too quickly? Is it not having a clear bias for the day, for example? Let me know. What happened to gold? Why is it going down? It is going down because, you know, we're back on the live streams again. No. It's going down because I think there's a lot of profit taking happening. We're overextended. We talked about that. We are in a seasonal cycle top. Look at that right here. We call that a seasonal cycle top. Silver looks even weaker. Silver gave us all the insights already. That we are looking like a clear reversal. It's not just like a buy the dip moment here. It's a very clear reversal here, right? Look at these clear supply zones that are created on silver. It's very hard to flip bullish. And because gold and silver are really positively correlated, if silver is weak, gold's going to have a hard time too, right? It is what it is. It is what it is. User says I cleared 10K on Fivers and got first ever payout of $380 last week. Thanks, man. Amazing, my friend. Congratulations. AK says before LTA, I didn't bias shit. Now I know. Nice. Yadab says greed and revenge trading. Bro, that's a true killer. Revenge trading is a true killer, okay? You know where it usually comes from? Revenge trading? It usually comes from not being certain. Not being certain about your strategy yet. That's usually where revenge trading comes from. From my experience, not being certain is a real killer about your strategy. Because if you don't believe in your strategy enough, if you don't convince yourself that it works, then who cares, right? Who cares if you fuck up? There are no underlying values holding you back. Pressing that button. Because you don't have something to back it up here. So now that's something I experienced, something maybe you could work with. Oh, for sure. Then we have overtrading. Overtrading, same thing. If you understand your strategy, very clearly, you will not overtrade. You will not trade more than you should trade. Because you understand when to trade and when to stay out of the market. That's it. Scoop Trading says, I used to struggle with getting sniper entries, but that fixed range foreign profile indicator is a game changer. God bless you. Amazing. It's not the indicator, bro. It's not just the indicator. Anyone has the indicator, right? Everyone has it. Why is it that some people succeed with it and other people don't? It's the strategy around it, clearly. When was the last time you guys took a revenge trade? Let's be honest in the chat. When was the last time you took a revenge trade? Today? Yesterday? Friday? Friday would be a perfect day for revenge trading. You will get wrecked. When gold is dropping, you didn't expect it. That would be a hard one. That would be a hard one. Yeah. Today. Okay, damn. Anyways, guys, if you guys can smash up that subscribe button, we realized that around 30% of you guys are not subscribed to this channel. So subscribing would help tremendously. The momentum is real. LTA is growing every day. Our group is growing really freaking fast right now. Crazy. And I mean, the live trading is fun, right? It's fun. It's fun. I mean, if it doesn't already go today to our demand zone. But anyways, our bias was correct here. Up to how much the correction will be there? I mean, it's really hard for me to say, to be honest, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. For me, it's really hard to give you an indication of how far we're going to drop, right? And how deep we're going to drop. The only thing that I can say is I just look at it demand zone by demand zone, right? Higher time frame demand is what I'm looking at. So if we manage to break this, we'll most likely continue lower. Right? This on the higher time frame, like the daily time frame, for example. If you break that, we're most likely going to go lower, right? It's pretty straightforward. But it seems to be weak, for sure. I subscribed. Nice. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Of course, for all the value we provide, you know, 3 days a week, we're going to be here. We're going to make sure that we are here to help you out. Hopefully set up your buys clearly. And if a nice trade happens, even better. And if you have any questions, just feel free to ask, guys, really. Like, we're here for a reason. We have these streams, right, where we're joking around. You know, we're playing around. We're not, we're just having fun. We're taking some trades. You know, have some guys in the chat, right? Oh, your TP is your stop loss is my TP. Of course, we're gonna have some fun sometimes, but we also have a serious side where, you know, we realize how important this is for us, right? And how this can actually change our life. So it's important to have that balance, and it's fun sometimes, but it's also important to just sometimes consider and know that you're okay, that you just need to focus. You really need to lock in. Okay? What's the actual sauce for trading, Lorenzo? Well, the actual sauce for trading is just to stop jerking off. That is the real secret. What is your dream car, Lorenzo? I always wanted to buy the Ferrari 812 super fast. I still have it on my list. It's still definitely something I admire. The only thing is, and you could say the only problem is, that I like to live in Bali. And in Bali, it's retarded to drive a Ferrari. Okay, that's the conclusion. So, yeah. I don't know. We'll see if I will buy one. If I would live in Dubai, I will probably already have one. So, yeah. How close are you to your payout? Very close, my friend. Yeah. We're gonna do a review. The moment we do our next payout here, we'll make a video around it as well here. A new max payout on Top Step. Lorenzo, why is there such a discrepancy in price for my Vantage account and TradingView? Is it the spreads? TradingView is showing 4168 and Vantage it's 4223. What chart are you looking at on TradingView? Graham says Rolex or AP? Both. Yeah, the thing is, guys, and this is a bit annoying here. I just realized the following, guys. I'm looking at it right now. I just realized something. Do you guys see what happened on futures? Do you guys see what happened on futures? Do you guys see it? Let me know in the chat. Is no one seeing it? You know what I mean? This is my bad, right? This is my mistake, by the way, because I had to look at the futures chart. I was looking at the spot chart every freaking time today. Usually we are always looking at the futures chart. You guys know that, right? We're always looking at the futures chart first, and then we look at the spot, right? This is the reason why. This is the reason why. Price pull back into the very low, tapped into it, sold off. That's the exact setup we talked about, right? That's the exact setup we talked about. Here, unfortunately, it did not. It happens sometimes, not always though. It doesn't always happen like that. That it's always futures, spot is always wrong. No, that's not. It's not like that. But today it was. Today it clearly was. Should we buy gold now? No, you should not buy gold. In my opinion, I don't think it makes sense to buy gold right now at all. No. Absolutely not. Lorenzo, what is your biggest driver? Why are you trading and why are you building the community? Now, the way I see it is the following, right? I'm not sure if you guys are really like updated about the market, just the world in general. But I feel that the world is changing really quickly. I'm not sure what you guys think about this. But you were saying you were not going to enter. Everyone is right in hindsight. Yeah, it's true as well. It's true as well. But it depends on what the dollar did. The dollar never broke down. Dollar never broke structure. It actually respected that low. So we would have probably entered for sure. Yeah. If I knew that we were already in the fixed very low, we were already getting rejected, then we had an entry model right around here, which would take us 10 minutes longer. So that makes sense to me. Right there. What is the reason you build your community? Well, the thing is, I'm not sure about you guys, but I feel that the world is changing really rapidly right now. It is changing really rapidly. And obviously, I think we're all in the same position. I think we are all deserve some sort of freedom. And I think this is why you are trading, right? You are trading for your freedom. Like if you are just trading to buy your next car, or you're just trading to buy, you know, your next diamond ring, whatever the case may be, that's good for you. But I think there are a lot of people here that are actually in the market for a deeper reason than that. And that is to buy their freaking freedom. And this is why we are here, man. This is why we're here. We're building the arc for everyone that wants to learn. That's it. That's the reason why we are here. And this is why we have one of the biggest communities out there. This is why we have our traders in the trading floor killing it every single day. This is why I'm going live for free 3 days a week. Taking trades live on stream all the time. We've taken hundreds of trades live on stream. Consistently. So no one can tell us anything anymore now at this stage where we're currently in. Why do you say that gold is not for sale? Can you analyze why you think that? Well, we just broke below structure, below the lows. We have a lot of resistance to go to break through. That's one layer. Dollar is looking really strong. Silver looks even weaker. Silver is correlated to gold. So I think there is just a lot of reasons to be cautious with long in gold here. Everyone tries to buy the dip right now. I think it's very risky to buy the dip. How about a tour of your current room? Well, you mean the old villa, you mean? This is a studio that we have built purposefully for the streams and for trading. And I use it for music too. I actually use it to train and learn the saxophone. I've been practicing this shit. It's one of the hardest instruments to play, by the way. It's crazy. So yeah, I'm learning the saxophone right now also. That's also another... And chess, playing a lot of chess here as well. Is Top Step or FundedNext better than FTMO? I prefer, you know, it depends. If you trade futures, Top Step is to me the most reliable. If you utilize prop firm, I think FundedNext is great. I think FTMO is also great, to be really honest with you. I think they're both very good prop firms. The freaking saxophone. Mustafa says, hi, I just joined. Did you take any trades for today and what are you looking for? Just come at 8 a.m. EST, man. That's it. Come at 8 a.m. EST because most of the action, the explanation happens before at 8 a.m. EST. And then from there onwards, we just go and we'll wait for our setup to play out, right? That's the thought process. We want to make sure that as many of you guys are at the same page. We're on the same page at all time right there. Okay. So yeah, gold's still looking just super freaking weak. I think we're going to most likely get towards this 12-hour area of the month right here, which is sitting at 4144. If price gets there, I would be more patient for sure because this is where price will find new support on the higher time frame, right? So we clearly broke down right now. We took out 2 zones today. We took out this one. We're taking out this one. This is our next demand zone on the higher time frame that is of relevance right there. So if there is a place where gold find or could find potential support, I think that could be the place. That could be the area where we really should be, you know, kind of paying attention here. And that was our intention, right? Our intention was to pull back to the fixed very low and trade into that demand zone. Just joining for the first time. Also watching GBPUSD breaking out on the 15-minute with trend. How do you feel a sell on GU? We can look at a GU right now at the moment. But the thing with the dollar is right now, you have to understand the dollar is in that major supply zone right here, right? So if the dollar gets rejected here right now, and it starts getting rejected at this area where it could reject from, then I think the pound could find support, you know? So I will be more cautious with like shorting the pound here against the US dollar, especially because we have that daily demand zone sitting right there. And we use a lot of higher time frame stuff, a lot of higher time frame zones before we move down to the lower time frame. So I actually think that you should really be cautious with shorting the pound against the dollar because you're going to tap into the daily demand zone very soon. And there is a big chance that we will actually react from it. All right. Yeah. There is a setup that I was interested in, by the way, guys. If you guys are interested in any Forex setups right now, then I recommend to watch this one. This is something that I shared in my Telegram channel here. Let me actually go through it.
Okay, what's happening, fam? It is the 21st of October.
What happened to my voice? Damn, that's so funny. Anyways. Let's see if I can find the setup here. Yeah, right here, right? So this 8-hour supply on the dollar Swiss, okay? That is an important zone. That is a zone that I think you should pay attention to. If you are Forex and you trade Forex, I recommend you to pay attention to the dollar Swiss on the higher time frame right now, because I think I need to see where the chart is at here. Let me see what happened. Well, this was our analysis for today. We share this every day. Let's go to the 8-hour. Yeah, we're right now in that, we're in that supply right now, right? And this is where things get very interesting. Because if price, let's say, breaks down, what kind of setup do we have? Let me know, G's. Let me know. What kind of setup would this be right here? %, right? That would be a clear CME play right there. So you get rejected from 8-hour supply. So let's say you are pulling back down right now, right? So for example, you have an 8-hour supply zone right here. We use with LTA Concepts, we use the 8-hour, the 12-hour, the daily, the weekly, and the monthly time frame, right? So we are in that zone here, okay? You could say, okay, I'm going to short it from there. Oh, you could, but you could also say, I'm going to use LTA execution and I'm going to look for a certain pattern. And what I see right now is if we get rejected from supply, you can use this range. You draw the fixtures for info from the left to the right, you mark it out. And if price breaks below, and this is similar as what happened to gold, by the way, today. Gold did exactly the same thing, right? But if price breaks below this zone, I think you have a very clean short setup targeting the previous weekly lows. So that means short position there, stop loss above the range high, target the previous weekly lows, at least get yourself a 2-to-1. And then you can put your stops on break even after 1 hour. Right at the lows pretty much. Right there. Right, so this will be, in my opinion, a perfect setup right now for dollar Swiss. Just because higher time frame resistance, right? Dollar, higher time frame supply. We are now in daily supply on the dollar. The Swiss franc, one of the strongest currencies at the moment. All right, so that might be an interesting setup for you guys right there as well. All right, a clear CME play. Very nice, actually. Very, very nice. CRC and GJ. Okay, that's a setup I cannot take, but I don't know if it's actually there though. Let me see. Daily. Where do you see the CRC actually? It's a bit tricky though, because you're in weekly demand, right? Weekly supply right now. You see that? You're in weekly supply, right? So if you break below that range, we're most likely going to go here, okay? Do something like this as well here. If you get rejected from it. And the yen seems to have some potential as well if the dollar reverses, so... You know, I think the same setup for GJ as well, to be honest. Similar setup. Higher time frame supply and then looking for that rejection right there. What do you think of the dollar yen? Dollar yen is in daily supply as well. Same thing. It's so easy to just understand higher time frame supply and demand first. And then go from there. You're in daily supply right now, right? So that's something to look at right here. The dollar is in daily demand here. This is, in my opinion, a bit tricky for shorting. I think you need to set up a new intraday trend at first. Look how you bounced from the Sunday open. You pulled back, you tapped into daily supply, and right now you're getting rejected. So If you're not a swing trader, I would only be looking for setups below the Sunday open right now. So that would be pretty much all the way down there. So price has to tank first, right? What's going to happen with gold? Gold's getting obliterated. Exactly, right? Gold is pushing down. Gold got rejected from the fixed very low. Maybe I would have not directly entered there. I would have waited for some sort of rejection on the lower time frame. But you can see that gold is just dropping, right? It turned this range into resistance. And for the people who are here, we say, oh, you didn't take the trade, blah, blah, blah. We have taken hundreds of these trades, like, if not thousands, literally thousands of these exact same setups, the CME trades in total. It's an exact playbook setup here. But 12-hour demand is something I would pay a lot of attention to. So if you're trying to short now, right? You're trying to short gold right now, you're getting closer to that 12-hour demand zone. The trainer says you don't use the supply and demand when you streamed 1 year earlier. No, actually we did. We did use supply and demand too. Maybe not as evident, right? But we definitely did. Definitely. So shorting gold is still an option. If we pull back, yes, I would still be looking at. I still would be looking at shorting it. Yeah, 100%. I don't see any long setups unless we break above the highs. Right, we talked about that right there already. The only thing that I would pay attention to is to this 12-hour demand zone. We also talked about this as well. Yeah. Lorenzo, can you tell me more about the ebook? What would you like to know, my friend? The conclusion is the ebook is giving you the framework, okay? That's it. So LTA itself is just what we call an ecosystem, right? So every part connects. And when you use, how do I say it correctly? When you use it all together, results just become inevitable. So you start with the ebook, it's free, right? Completely free of charge. You don't need anything here. You can watch the live streams for free as well. These two things together already should give you a really proper insight in what we do here on a day-to-day basis here. And if you just come here just for the trades, just only to take trades with me, and you don't care about anything, you don't want to learn something, you don't want to learn a strategy, you just want to take signals. Yes, I trade live, come and then go. Whenever there's no trade, just leave the channel and come back the next day. But the guys who are here, who are still watching, the guys who are serious about learning something, right? This is where we're here for. Because trades come and go. We're taking trades every freaking stream, every single day. Sometimes we lose, sometimes we win. That's never going to stop, okay? But trying to become 1% better every single day, that's where the difference comes from, right? This is where you guys will elevate. This is where you will become a better person, a better trader. If you step up and you come with the intention to learn something, right? Some people come and they have no intention to learn. They will not get better. They will not see their life improve. because they will keep chasing these short-term dopamine spikes over and over again here. Many of you guys, you are here because you actually want to learn something. And this is the reason why I created and decided to write a complete book, a complete framework for you. And so you have something to work with when I'm not streaming, for example. Other people say, why are you doing this? Like, why are you spending so much time working and writing? You know how fun it also is to build a community as well? You know how exciting it is to build a community, to talk with people, to have an audience, to spread your word. You know, there are so many good things around it. Lorenzo, dollar Swiss, if he's short there is that one, that daily demand zone. Let me quickly check. Daily demand, daily demand, daily demand. No. No. No, demand zone clearly breaks out, right? So demand zone needs to create some imbalance, right? It needs to expand, right? The better, the more, the higher, the better it is. The 8-hour supply is very clear, right? You have this drop, that massive drop off. And this is why we're getting rejected here right now at the moment here. So regardless, we don't really execute from a higher time frame area of supply, right? We wait for the internal confirmation anyways. And that's on the 30-minute time frame. You know, 30 to 50-minute time frame, for example. Yeah. Rio says Dow Jones hit full TP. Man, the trading floor is crushing it today then. That's crazy. That's amazing. Boom. Wow. Amazing, Ryu. Incredible stuff, bro. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. That's number 2, right? Gold futures. And now the Dow Jones. Very nice. Train says gold will go up. I think so. I think we're very close to a bounce here, yeah. Yeah. Lorenzo, what made the real change to your trading? What really changed it for you in terms of becoming profitable? You know what the thing is, G? I pretty much started where you are, right? I lost money. I felt for every single trap you could wish for. I bought into every single course. So, you know, obviously I know a lot because I tried a lot, right? But that means I also just failed a lot. I probably failed the most out of most traders I know. I probably failed the most. I made the most mistakes. I was the most delusional, the most impatient, the most greedy, right? So the only reason I trade consistently today is because of this system. It's the only reason. I realized I needed to have a trading system. I needed to have something that I could really rely on, something that I could use and that I could just expand on, right? A real system, not just a strategy. Like a strategy is one thing, right? But there is more to it than just a strategy, right? Risk management, your psychology, right? You need a real system, data. So the moment that happened for me, that was the moment where everything changed. That was the moment where everything changed for me. The moment I started to follow a freaking system. Bro. Yeah, would have been a clean trade, but it is what it is. Would have been so clean, bro. Yeah, would have been so clean. If the 5 minute would gave us a confirmation here, Yeah, it would have been very, very nice. It would have been a very good setup overall here. It's pretty much the setup that we were waiting for, to be really honest with you, right? Yeah, especially after seeing it getting rejected there. It would have been very nice here. And this is why I think I will keep and make sure that I will keep the futures chart on as much as possible. Even if you trade spot, if you understand when I execute, let's say, trade on futures, you will probably still have the right confirmation on spot anyways. Yeah. It's so true. It's so true. Yeah, it was so good. For sure. Bro, correct me if I see anything wrong. I see support and resistance on the 15-minute time frame, and whenever the 1 or 5 minute close above or below support and resistance, I execute and price suddenly moves. Why? 15-minute, 5-minute close above support and resistance. I don't know, bro. Honestly, I don't really look at 5-minute or 15-minute support and resistance levels. I actually just really don't look at that. Like, I just look at volume. For me, that's the ultimate confirmation. You can see today again, right? How we react from the point of control here, how we break. We have seen so many good examples for that exact reason here. Okay. Anyways, I think we tapped into 12-hour demand here, so this is where things get very interesting. Gold is dropping really hard, by the way. Have you guys seen how much gold dropped today, by the way? Around 5%. 5 freaking percent. Silver, 7.5%. Okay. This is why it was so important to have more of a bearish bias. Yeah, wow. 5.2%. What comes up must come down, guys. This is just the reality of trading. What comes up must come down. Let that be a lesson as well here in general. Okay. That buy the dip mentality, right? It was so engraved in people's brains, like, I need to buy the freaking dip. All these people buying the dip right now, draw down, draw down, draw down, draw down, right? They felt that they've missed the boat. They're going to enter now. It was all over the freaking news, right? Buy gold, buy gold, buy gold. This is the debasement trade. Buy gold now. It's too late. China is taking over. China is buying. And before you know it, gold dropped 6%. That's the reality. That's the reality right there. All right. Any questions, G's? Any questions? All right. Obviously, in terms of the trade itself, we knew what we were looking for, and that was this setup. You can see it pretty clearly on futures. Price rejected there. We had that rejection play. With an entry model confirmation, would have hit our targets right there. That was actually the setup we were looking at today. I just didn't execute on it. I was focused on the gold spot chart too much, where it didn't tap into it. It missed it with a couple pips. And just wasted my time pretty much in that 5-minute time horizon, where I started doubting dollar and then not tapping into the fix very low. So that gave me the reason not to take the trade. Whereas if I just simply looked at the futures chart, I would have been in position today. It's not always the case. The chart has been killing it. It's really good overall. Could you check the New Zealand dollar against US dollar? We can definitely check this out here. Way too weak. Way too weak. Simple. Way too weak. I would not be looking to long this if the dollar breaks down. I would much rather look at other currencies indeed. Right? Like the euro. For example, the euro USD or something like that. The Swiss franc, I would buy. For example, look at the Swiss franc. Super nice, right? Dollar Swiss shorts. So much better than New Zealand dollar longs if the dollar decides to drop and come down here. Okay? Yeah, so much better. Do you share your analysis on Telegram when you are not streaming? Yes, we do. I share my daily market update videos always in our Telegram every day. Okay? Unless there is a day where I say, you know, today I don't really see it. I don't really see any clear setups or something that could help you out. I will usually leave like a voice note or something like that. But otherwise, I would simply say, yeah, sure, of course. These are like the best setups of today, etc. Going over it right now on gold. Most other setups as well here. Yeah. So you can get into our Telegram very easily. You just download the book. And then you follow this link right here. Put it in the chat. And then you can just get into our group. And follow my daily updates right there. Yeah, my daily updates. And also, thing is, like I said before, and this is a good lesson for today as well. In the end, it's all about bias, right? Having a very clear daily bias is usually what's going to help you out too. It's going to help you tremendously. Yeah. Yeah. Still a W, my friend. I agree completely. You know, we have seen these setups over and over again. My goal, all right, and this is important. My goal for you is, if I can show you these setups, these exact same patterns that you see happening in the market over and over again, and it actually plays out, and you do it yourself one time. You only have to do it once yourself and see that it works for you, then there's no way back, my friend. There is no way back. That's it. Once you've taken that first trade, you succeed with that exact setup using the volume profile, and you execute properly, and you win, you're hooked. It's done. We got you in the back, bro. We got you in the back. Yeah. I mean, right analysis, right setup. Overall, everything was good. My mistake. I take full responsibility there. That I was not looking at the futures chart. Right there. My mistake, my responsibility. Anyways, it is what it is. It was a clear CME play on gold, short. Our bias was correct, so let's leave it with that here, okay? I'm not gonna hold you up, guys, too long today. We talked about a lot of different things. Most importantly, I think, there are gonna be trades every day anyway, so that doesn't really matter. But the real question is, and this is, I think, the lesson of today, like the moral of the story, I could better say. And that is, what makes you think you're better than the person on the other side of the market? That's how I always think about it. I always create my own enemy. Like, there is a person on the other side who is now laughing at me for not taking a trade right here. Or if I win, there's a person on the other side, right? It's kind of me being in a boxing ring, right? We also sponsor like a boxing gym, etc. Me in the boxing ring against an opponent, right? You don't want to get your ass kicked. Create your own enemies. Let that be the lesson for today. And hopefully that makes sure that you focus and you step up your game. And you actually take this shit serious, because hard work will give you eventually easy money. And that is the reality of trading. Hard work will deliver easy money. But the hard work needs to be there. There is no shortcut to it. Okay? I'm going to keep it short today, guys. Thank you for today's session. Shorter than usual. But I'm not here to sit here longer right now. I think the trade itself played out as well. Any questions before I go? Let me know. Could you please check out GU before you go? We can do it one more time, yes, if you want to. I think we talked about it already, daily demand. Wait for price to tap into daily demand first, right there. Super important zone, daily demand zone. Something that I'm interested in to see what happens around there. This is tricky overall. Look at that range, very choppy. You don't want to trade in that range. If price breaks down, it breaks out of that range. Then I'm willing to look for longs and continue to go higher, right? Reverse the trend. Right now, the pound is still selling off. It's still getting rejected. It is going to push into daily demand very soon. That's where things get interesting, okay? Any possibility of a re-entry for gold? Right now, gold is tanking, and it also just reached a 12-hour demand zone. Yeah? I think that's where we are right now, if I'm correct. Yes, we are in a 12-hour demand zone. At some point, gold has to push back up and create some sort of reversal here. But because it's so freaking bearish today, I'll be very cautious with trying to predict the bottom here. So you need to wait for pullback, the reaction, and then the continuation, right? So that takes time. That takes time to develop here. Don't try to squeeze in a setup and hope for the best. Don't get in on the 1 minute time frame, pray and hope that we see the best, biggest reversal possible. You're most likely gonna get stopped out. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you guys for today's session here. Hope you guys still learned something today. I really liked this play out, setup overall playing out here. It's a good lesson for you guys. This is also something that we traded last week. We took the same setup, but the other way around, right? That's it. We took the same trade, but the other way around. That was the exact setup before. This is the reversal set, the reversal play. Okay? That's it. I downloaded the ebook, but do not see a way to get into the Telegram without buying the Vantage. Still learning, plunging. Yeah, you need to indeed sign up with a broker. Deposit $350 on your account, and then you can get access to our group, or you pay us a one-time fee. So it is either free with your own money on your own account, and you trade according to your own rules, or you pay us a one-time fee if you don't want to sign up with the broker. But if you already have a Vantage account, you can also click on this link right here, and it will pretty much transfer you over, which is very easy. And that should be the easiest way to join for you. All right? If you already have an account. So then you don't pay a single thing. It's just pretty much free to join. All right. Thank you guys so much. We're getting attacked. We're getting attacked. We're getting attacked by... we're not gonna go too deep into it today. We need to fix it somehow. We're gonna see what's going on here. All right. Anyways, thank you guys for today. Like, subscribe. Tomorrow we're gonna be back once again. We're gonna see where gold is at that current moment, and we're gonna see what the next logical, most efficient, and the highest probability setup will be. Looking forward to that. All right. Study, put in the work, focus, change your life around, man. Step up your game. See you tomorrow.